Super Rugby Aotearoa this weekend's got two games on. One of them's got pretty big billing, and it's probably not this one. The unbeaten Crusaders and Blues are going at Eden Park, whereas there is also the Hurricanes and the Chiefs playing. Both sides could use a win, seeing as they are both none from two. They're both in an interesting situation as they are both coming off away losses to the Crusaders. Similar scorelines, 33-16 for the Hurricanes and 39-17 for the Chiefs a week later. So the Hurricanes have been on a bye. They've had a chance to, I guess, reassess. But just looking at the manner of the losses, I would say the Hurricanes will at least be a bit pleased they had a decent second half showing, whereas the Chiefs were kind of under the pump. Maybe they had a better start, but the Chiefs were really under the pump for so long in that game. We'll go over the squads briefly and the predictions, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how this one is going to go. I still think it'll be an exciting game, even if it doesn't get like the biggest billing of all the games this weekend. My missus is cooking just around the corner, so if you hear anything that smells like sounds like cooking, you probably won't hear any smells. But anyway, yeah, she's cooking some lovely dinner. I'm a lucky man. The Hurricanes, Numia, Riccatelli, and Lomax are the front row. I think Almoa is injured, so Riccatelli gets the starting job this week. Blackwell and Wokalea Were are the locks. Pretty good locking duo, you'd have to say. Princep, Karifi, and Savi is number 8. He is captain. Also, the back row is pretty tidy. Luke Campbell and Auburn Ledger is maybe, if you're a Hurricanes fan, you're probably looking back to the days where it was TJ Perenara and Bowden Barrett and looking with a bit of longing. But yeah, Luke Campbell and Auburn Ledger, because remember, Simon Hickey's out for the season. He didn't even get a game. And Jackson Gardner-Bishop's out for a few weeks. So, yep, Auburn Ledger is the man who gets the number 10 jersey, former Chiefs man. He'll be wanting to have a good game. Laumape and Billy Proctor may want to target Tupaia, who's had a few defensive issues in the past. But remember, Harry Plummer had in the past as well. And he was kind of able to keep Laumape relatively quiet. Reasi, Savia, that's Julian, and Jordy Barrett make up the back three, which is a good mix of experience and youth. Remember, Jordy Barrett's got a big cannon boot on him. So if the Chiefs are going to give away any silly penalties, he'll either be booting them over for 3 or he'll be booting them into touch to make them pay. Armstrong's on the bench, Tavita Mafaleo, Flanders, Talmatene, Peter Jensen, Wes Husson, and so on. Reasi really made an impact in that last game he came off, so I'm kind of not surprised he gets the nod ahead of Husson. And I really rate Husson, but it is what it is. For the Chiefs, Ross, Tokiaho, and Ta'avao are the front rowers. The scrum battle will be one area they need to improve. Like the Hurricanes had remarkably better scrum stats than the Chiefs did against the Crusaders. Like the Chiefs were at 50%, I think 2 from 4, whereas the Canes were, what was it, 83%? I think it was 4 from 5. So much better numbers from the Canes. But it's a different game, so you never know. Tupavai and Naitoa Akoi is a young but promising locking duo. So, yeah, there's not really any... Like, Scrafton's usually there for the Canes, but remember, he's not playing. So, yeah, it will be an interesting one. I mean, in terms of the lineouts, also, the Canes fared way better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs, what was their line at? I wrote it down. 42% against the Crusaders. Absolutely atrocious. Like the Canes were at 77%, which is in itself not great. You want to be kind of upwards of 80%, but yeah, it was still remarkably better than how the Chiefs went. Back row, Mitch Brown, Sam Cane, and Luke Jacobson. Jacobson's been good. Sam Cane's been making a load of tackles. Ideally, he's going to put himself in a position where he doesn't have to make kind of 20 tackles every game. That's not a good position for your team to be in, but we'll see. Brad Webber, Caleb Trask, and 9-10 combo. You probably give them the edge in that department, and it's one area they'll really want to exploit. Tupaia and ALB. ALB's back. Remember, he was on the bench for the last game. Yeah, how he goes up against an inexperienced Billy Proctor. Whether he can offload his way into some meterage will be interesting because, yeah, that wasn't an area they were able to get much pay in the last week either. But it's really hard to compare against the Crusaders because that was such a good team. Nana Saturo, Jonah Lowe, and D-Mac make out the back three for the Chiefs. I don't know. Do you like the youth of the and creativity of the Chiefs back three? Do you like Julian Savia's experience? He's looked fired up, but he's not really had a huge amount of chances thus far. Nankiville's on the bench. Tahuri Rangi's there. They've got one debutant, that's Apikotoa. Finau was good in his game when he played in the opening round, so yeah, good for him to get a crack from the bench as well. Yeah, man, the Chiefs weren't able to get any ball in that game against the Crusaders, but neither were the Hurricanes in that first half. Remember, the Crusaders took off a bunch of their big guns, and then that's when the Canes started to come back into it, but it was too little too late. Either way, the Crusaders games, how many times have I said Crusaders in this video, in the past now, and these teams both just need to step up to get that first win. The bookies have got the Hurricanes by 4 points. Rugby Forecast algorithm goes one step higher, saying the Hurricanes by 8 points. So will the Chiefs' losing run go on, or will they finally manage to crack that long run of defeats and pick up a win? Also, how well Sam Cane manages the ref, I think, is worth watching. Likewise, Artie Savia, because remember, you got these two guys who both traditionally play 7, although Savia has kind of shifted to become a bit of a number 8. Yeah, both captains, both All Blacks. It's one area of Sam Cane's game that is like tackling is phenomenal, but he needs to maybe just get in the ref's ear a bit better. But that's not a kind of skill you can just learn overnight, so we'll see. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.